Dan Bilzerian is running for Congress to take down Randy Fine. And I've been watching this interview with him, Kim Everson. There's one question that Kim brought up about Dan's past. So I'll start from right here.
Okay. So you've got this older demographic in this Florida congressional district, which means they probably don't know who you are. But your past is going to come roaring back. I mean, that's what happens when you run for office. That's why I'm surprised you even want to do it. So how are you going to address, first of all, the lifestyle that you had? A lot of these older conservatives are not going to like the fact that you were sleeping with 3 women a night, living that sort of lifestyle. How are you going to respond to that? Have you changed from that? Was that real? A lot of people would say, Dan, you're sitting here saying we got to be truthful and honest now, but many people would suspect that all of that was kind of for show.
Definitely wasn't for show, and it was up to 9 women in one night at one point. But that was my lifestyle.
I was just thinking, if the question of Dan's past comes up again, his past involving him sleeping with all these women and having orgies and all this, if that question comes up again while he's running, the best response that he could have is, well, at least I was never in the Epstein files. You know what I'm saying? Because there's already so many politicians in power right now who were in the Epstein files and who were involved with Epstein, involved with way more perverse things than whatever Dan was freaking doing 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Whatever Dan was doing with these women several years ago severely pales in comparison to some of the utter disturbing stuff that politicians with power right now were doing with Epstein on Epstein Island. And that includes our current president. I hope Dan Bilzerian wins in his run for Congress and takes down that big fat J, Randy Fine, who keeps on saying all this genocidal nonsense about people in the Middle East, about Arabs, about Muslims. You see, it's totally fine to say the absolute worst dehumanizing genocidal stuff about Arabs, about, all the people in the Middle East who are not Jays. But if you say one little offensive thing about people like Randy Fine, oh, that should be illegal. Oh, you're evil. You're Nazi. You're Adolf. I hope Dan wins. And I hope more people like Dan step up and do the same thing that he's doing.